In August 1977, a radio telescope in Ohio picked up a signal that lasted only 72 seconds. It was so strong and so strange that the astronomer who saw it on the printout wrote one word next to the data: wow. Almost 50 years have passed since then. The signal has never repeated. And to this day, no one has been able to explain it convincingly. On August 15, 1977, the Big Ear radio telescope in Ohio was operating as usual. It did not track objects across the sky. Instead, the fixed structure used the rotation of the Earth itself to slowly scan the heavens. A computer recorded the data and printed it onto long paper printouts. Each character represented the strength of the signal over 12 seconds. Several days later, astronomer Jerry Ehman was reviewing these printouts. In one of the channels he saw the sequence, 6EQUJ5. The signal rose sharply, peaked at about 30 times the background level, and then fell just as symmetrically. The entire event lasted exactly 72 seconds, precisely the time Big Ear spent looking at one point in the sky. Ehman circled the line in red pen and wrote a single word in the margin: wow. That is how the signal got its name. The wow signal stands out for several reasons at once. First, its frequency. It arrived almost exactly at 1420 MHz, the neutral hydrogen line. Hydrogen is the most common element in the universe, and this frequency has long been considered one of the most logical places for possible interstellar communication. As early as 1959, scientists proposed it as a natural meeting point for civilizations that know nothing about each other. Second, its intensity. The signal was about 30 times stronger than the normal background. For a radio telescope of that era, this was a very noticeable event, not faint noise, but a clear, powerful spike that stood out sharply against everything else. And third, its shape. It rose and fell almost perfectly symmetrically, exactly the way a signal from a point source should behave as it passes through the beam of a fixed telescope due to the rotation of the Earth. All of this together made the wow signal look very much like something scientists had hoped one day to see. And that is why it still attracts so much interest. Right after the signal was detected, scientists began looking for ordinary explanations. The simplest version was terrestrial interference. Someone could have transmitted on that frequency, or the signal could have reflected off a satellite or a piece of space debris. However, the design of Big Ear was meant to reject most Earth-based sources. In addition, the signal behaved as if it had come from a fixed point in the sky. Another version involved comets. Some researchers suggested that hydrogen in a comet's tail could have produced such a spike. But more detailed analysis showed that comets cannot create a signal this narrow and powerful at 1420 MHz. In recent years, another serious hypothesis has appeared: the signal could have been a natural astronomical event. A cold cloud of hydrogen in interstellar space might have briefly flared under the influence of powerful radiation, for example, from a magnetar. This version explains many properties of the signal, but it is still not considered fully proven. There were also more exotic ideas: a reflection of an Earth signal from a slowly moving space object, or even an error in data processing. Jerry Ehman himself later said he did not want to draw vast conclusions from half-vast data. None of the explanations has completely closed the question. Right after the signal was detected, astronomers began searching for it again. The Big Ear team returned to the same patch of sky many times. Over the following weeks and months they carried out dozens of follow-up observations. The signal never reappeared. In the decades that followed, other telescopes and projects joined the search. Observations were made with META, the Very Large Array, telescopes in Tasmania, and other instruments. In total, the region of sky from which the WOW signal came was monitored for hundreds of hours. Even the most sensitive modern attempts, including observations with the Allen Telescope Array around 2020, found nothing. The work of 2024 and 2025 has mostly focused on reanalyzing old data rather than conducting new sky searches. The signal that lasted 72 seconds in 1977 has remained unique. Interestingly, in 2012, exactly 35 years after the event, a symbolic reply was sent into space using the Arecibo telescope. People from around the world submitted short messages that were collected and transmitted towards several stars in the same region of the sky. It was more of a gesture than a serious attempt at communication, but the fact that a reply was sent at all shows how deeply this signal captured the imagination. It is precisely the lack of repetition that makes it so inconvenient for science. A one-time event is almost impossible either to confirm or to fully rule out. The most intriguing version remains both the simplest and the most difficult. The signal could have been artificial. The frequency of 1420 MHz was not chosen by accident. As early as the late 1950s, scientists proposed the hydrogen line as a natural meeting point for civilizations that had never communicated with each other. This narrow part of the spectrum is even called the cosmic waterhole, a place where intelligent beings might look for one another. Any technological civilization that understands physics should know this frequency. The WOW signal arrived almost exactly on it, was narrow, powerful, and behaved exactly the way a signal from a distant point source should. It came from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, the region that contains the center of our galaxy. Jerry Ehman himself remained cautious until the end of his life. He said he did not want to draw vast conclusions from incomplete data. At the same time, he acknowledged that the signal certainly had the potential to be the first signal from extraterrestrial intelligence. The problem is that without repetition it is almost impossible to prove. A single 72-second burst remains only a hint, a very strong one, but still a hint. And to this day it is considered one of the most serious candidates in the history of the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. The WOW signal is important, not because we have proven the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence. We have not. It is important for another reason. Over the decades of SETI, other interesting candidates have been found: short bursts, strange narrow signals, events that were later explained, or that also never repeated. But almost none of them combined so many of the right properties at once: the hydrogen line frequency, high intensity, a perfect shape, and the absence of obvious terrestrial explanations. That is why the WOW signal still stands apart as the strongest one-time candidate in the history of SETI. It shows how thin the line can be between ordinary cosmic noise and something that looks like possible contact. One short burst that matched scientists' expectations almost perfectly still forces people to return to the old data and keep arguing. The WOW signal reminds us that the search for extraterrestrial intelligence is not only a hunt for clear proof. It is also the work of dealing with events that happen once and never again. Such events are hard to ignore, and even harder to explain once and for all. Almost 50 years later, one sheet of paper with the red note WOW remains one of the most famous artifacts in the history of SETI. Not because the answer has been found, but because the question is still open. We still do not know what exactly Big Ear heard in August 1977. It could have been a natural astronomical burst, a strange reflection, or something else entirely. Or it could have been an attempt at contact that never repeated. 72 seconds. One sheet of paper. One word written in red ink. And a question that science has still not been able to close. Sometimes the strongest mysteries are not the ones we have answered. They are the ones that remain hanging in the air. Thank you for watching this journey into one of the most famous unexplained signals in the history of astronomy. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future episodes. And tell us in the comments, do you think the WOW signal was artificial? In the next video, we will explore another profound enigma, Snowball Earth, when the whole planet froze. See you in the next one.